And sing of his glory, his glory, his glory.
Yes, we'll sing of his glory, glory, glory. We sing of his glory, glory, his glory. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, the message that we bring in the music that we sing is of our Lord's glory. We sing to you, dear star, your name we glorify, glorify.
We sing of your glory, glory,
glory. Yes, we sing of your glory, my Lord. Oh, glory, glory. Yes, we sing of your glory. Oh, my Lord, you came to earth. We celebrate your birth and recognize your glory. We love you, our dear star. Your name we glorify, glorify. We sing of your glory,
glory,
glory. Yes, we sing of your glory, my Lord. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, the message that we bring in the music that we sing is of our Lord's glory. We sing to you, dear Son, your name we glorify, glorify. Glory, 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 glory.
be glorified.
Oh, glory,
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 glory. Oh, message that we bring in the music that we sing is of our Lord's glory. We sing to you, dear Son, your name we glorify, glorify. Yes! Glory, glory, glory. Yes, we sing of your glory, my Lord. Glory, 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 glory. Glory, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Sorry, glorify.
Sai, good morning, and thank you for having us back. This afternoon, it is afternoon, because you know, you guys have worked so hard, it just feels like we're in a whirlwind, and I have been catapulted back to Puttaparthi. I mean, even as we went home and we were falling to sleep, we kept saying, but remember the time we did so-and-so. We must say that, we must say that. So this has really been a retreat from the world, I'm telling you. And what a successful thing that you did here, because I saw people I haven't seen in years. And I thank you so much for it. I want to, go ahead.
We thank Sathya for inviting us, and all of you for inviting us.
Yes.
We also want to give a special thank you to Krishna and the YAs for inviting us.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They really showed us that Sai's movement is on the march.
Right.
And I see it. I saw it in the youngsters yesterday. We had a class with them, I want you to know. And I was very concerned because this was geared for really high schoolers. And I said, well, if we have the ages, maybe up to 12, they can get it. And then our sisters here said, listen, put them all together. So the ages were from 6 to 12. And we gave them something that kids in the high school had difficulty doing. And those youngsters got together, they got the concept, they learned the music to remember the things that they had to, and then they put them into action by solving problems, doing the role plays. It was really a beautiful, beautiful sight. So please give them a hand, if nothing more. They were wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I want to get started because I think each one of us will relate the experiences that we've had with Baba. And many of them will be in interview, but then there will be some that will be not in interview, you know, but it is a result of. Our first one, of course, with my brother, who will tell his in a little more detail, was in 1988. And I won't be naming all the dates because, you know, they happened over a series of years. But the first one that we had as a family, you know, let me just give you a little background here, as from what I heard later on, that Baba refers to Puttaparthi as his hospital, okay, and Vrindavan as his home, and I think he called Kodakanal his playground, I think, yes. And I used to think, of course, when you first come, Westerner, come, know everything kind of Westerner, you're looking at her. That was 28 years ago, okay? I came with the notion, we were teachers, all of us, and we're giving up our summer. We're giving up our summer to go see God. You know, it doesn't hit you until the experience I had in the first interview. Yes, you learn about him and you say, oh, this is wonderful. He's an avatar. And you sometimes refer to him as, the Indian folk call him God. You don't want to say it. But let me tell you something. This lady learned how to say it. Our first interview as a family, the night before, with all of my high-hattedness, you know, I'm here. He's not calling anyone, and I was really terrible. You just had to know me. He has worked on me all these years, and I'm a work in progress, believe me. I was what is this? I can't do this, I can't do that. Let me tell you something. That night, we met with two other ladies who had no one. They had come, I think one was affiliated with the UN in Vienna or something. And they joined us as a group. And we were at that time with the United Nations group. We had a center there at the UN, and we were a part of that group. But it was our family that was called, and some of the people did come with us, Malini and the rest, right? But the night before in the room, this was like the third week, we're planning to go home. I'm so happy. I can get cold water. I can get what I want, my Cokes when I want to, and that kind of thing. And then the night before in that room, I said, you know one thing? I'm not wasting my time anymore. Coming here, I mean, goodness, Warren got the interview last year, so that's nice. but I'm not coming anymore. He's gone over to the men's side 15 times, hasn't come over here. You know, the whole attitude business. And then the next day, and by the way, before I left, then I said, and a matter of fact, if he calls, I'm not going. Okay. The nerve, the very nerve of me. When I look back, I'm almost looking at a moving picture, a nightmare. And he must have been laughing and slapping his side to say, what a piece of putty I have to work with here, you know. But we were called. I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't us. Always this one. Baba finds him in the deepest crowds. He can be 16 rows back, and he will say, you come. Well, the first time, I didn't know to come. When he had that interview. I'm going to go back to when I was called, you see. But I was sitting there, and I was very angry because we were put in the infamous sheds at that time. And we thought, oh, we'd come through all of these nice hotels, and this is where it lands us? Here. So the next day, I'm fussing, and where's the keys? I want a room, I want this. You just don't know what an ugly attitude I brought there. And when Warren was called, actually Baba referred to me as Miss Fuss Fuss. He said in that interview, he's going to tell you that, oh, and I want my two sisters, they're the ones that were, he said, yes, I know Miss Fuss Fuss. And he did his hands like Fuss Fuss. And he said, I'll call him tomorrow. So she told you about the tomorrow. But that day, to show you that he's omnipresent, I'm sitting there, and somehow April had gotten separated from me the first time in '88. And I'm sitting by myself, and all of a sudden, I'm saying to him as he passed the ladies, well, goodness, you know, we've come all this way. I mean, come on now, you didn't pick me, well, pick my brother. Do you know at that moment he was calling him and telling him, you have very ugly thoughts? That was at that moment. And I told April, I said, because we didn't know we were supposed to get up. When he's called, and the ladies then surround me, I said, well, good, at least he picked my brother. And the people said, your brother? Get up, get up. And I said, no, I'm not going, he didn't pick me, I didn't know. And so at that point, when they convinced me to go, the Mataji was out there waiting. And she let me get all the way to the Mataji. I don't know if many of you know her, but she really held her title. She was the Mataji. And we marched out, I marched out, and she said, too late, go back. All of these thousands of people, well, then I was livid. Still, you know, you've learned about him, you're loving him, he's drawn you here, despite the fact that you thought you went on your own and wasting your time and giving up your asama, but he's drawn you here. And all of a sudden, we're sent back. Well, of course, her story will correlate with that later on, but I didn't know that we were to go, and I didn't know he called him at the moment I said that. And it went in my mind, well, he can at least call my brother. And then I looked over, and I knew it was him because he was so ridiculous. He refused to put on a nice white shirt. He was working for Time Warner as a second job. We were all teachers, but he had the big black Time Warner shirt on. How ridiculous. And I said, oh, he did call my brother. That's how it went. But then when I did get that interview, mind you, I told you the night before, this is the following year. And of course, that was Baba's tomorrow, okay? He called Miss Fuss Fuss, and I said the night before, I would not go. Well, you know who was the first one crossing that field? The sari was flying. The tears were rolling. And when I got in there, I waited. First, he got a ring. A gentleman had a ring, and it had Baba's face kind of carved in it. And it was like a copper ring, nothing fancy. And he said, give it here. And so the fella passed it to him, and then he showed it to us, and he said, "Who is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's you, Baba." I'm talking to him like he's my next door neighbor. "It's you, Baba." And he said, "Give it." He said, and what a beautiful ring that turned out to be. He handed it to the gentleman, and then, of course, I'm floored. But then he said, "You know, Baba never comes to the ladies' side. He's always on the men's side." I said, "Ooh." I wanted to go through the floor. You could not have put a hole deep enough for me to get down there. And of course, I hadn't, and it didn't help that, I won't even tell that, but someone had said, "You know what? Baba once told a person that was, and I don't know if it was true, but it frightened me, because he said, Baba once told a person who was always asking for things and never satisfied, 'Listen, I will turn you into a pillow of vibhuti.' And I think it was only given to me to shut me up. And I kept seeing Lot's wife as a pillow of salt. And I kept saying to myself, 'Oh Lord, I know who you are. I will not do this again.' But right away, a big smile came on his face, and he had a little plastic basket that was sitting in the windowsill, full of the packets of vibhuti. He said, "You, go get that, bring it here." Oh, the teacher's monitor ran right over there and got that basket. Tell me I didn't have a job with the Lord, okay? That was my first experience. And the next time, because they're going to add on to what they saw in there as well. But the next time, we were sitting at his feet, and I know that my sister he always has her sitting there, and he will allow her to massage his feet. She will tell you about that. That's another thing. And the girlfriend of ours was there from the UN, and she was doing this on the other foot, and he said, "Stop polishing." It's such a human thing. And then he finally sat there in the chair, and he said, "So, what do you want me to do? You want anything? Tell me what you want." It was like Santa Claus. You know, remember you went to Santa? It was like Santa Claus. Now, that is not the one where Chris was in. Am I correct? The next time we had an interview, my son Chris was with me, and he was 16. At 16, no matter how nice they are, they always want to kind of stretch their legs and want to see, you know, "No, Ma, you're old-fashioned, you don't understand," kind of business. And he had even found a sign that had an old stop sign that was placed on the side of the road. So he tacked it up on his room because all of a sudden, "I want privacy. You must knock to come in the room." So at that point, I know, you know, kids, you can tell them one thing, and a million other kids are in schools. You're only the parents there, but you have 2,000 other kids saying, "Look, come on, that's back in the day, come with me." And I think he may have been beginning to listen to that, but he was always one that did pay attention at home. Because from his interview that day, Baba did something so very unfamiliar to everyone. He was in his chair and he asked Chris, "Do you want me?" And Chris said, he was really shocked, he's addressing him, and he said, "I think so." Because actually, you know, when you're taking someone from an entirely different culture, and especially a young adult, a young teenager, I would say. He was on the younger side when we first came to Baba. He had to have been maybe about 12 out in California. But he would go with us because he had to. But at this point, he's 16, he's moving around. He's in New York these days, so he doesn't have to be driven around, all of that. And Baba said, do you want me? And he said, "Yeah, I think so." And at that point, he also told him, he said, I see you slamming the door. His room door. That's what it was. And he said, bad friends, bad company at that point. And of course, he was like, he's bugging the rooms. He's bugging the house. When he came out, because that's what was on. But Baba did something unusual. He said, okay, give me your hands. And he took his two hands and he put his foot in the solar plexus of his stomach and pulled. Okay? And we said, what is this about? But okay, whatever it is, it's fine. Well, that was Chris's first experience. Of course, we had begun being total vegetarians in 85, 86. And it was kind of hard for him to convert from McDonald's specials to our veggie burgers, our grillers, and so forth. But he complied. After that, I noted that he started, because he was always a Jesus fan, you know, and we didn't discover until much later that he had an altar on his, he had big trundle bed, and not trundle bed, a big loft bed, I'm sorry, and that was his world up there. He'd climb up there with the speakers and his little TV in the other corner in that business, but underneath on his desk, we discovered he has an altar there, his Jesus, his Baba, and he loved Ganapati, you know, and he had him there. Well, a year after that interview, we took him again, because something happened, and it was with my sister and I going to school. We were getting a higher degree. We were taking courses after work. And we drove him to his old playground in his old neighborhood. And somehow when we came home, I got the worst news. He just turned 16, and they said Chris was arrested. Arrested? We've never had anybody in our family arrested. We never had any problems with the law, and I know he's not the type of child to get in any. And then I said, what is it about? Car theft. Car theft. We just purchased 3 brand new vehicles. It wasn't a month before. And we would always travel from New York to where we're living now, to the Pocono Mountains, which is a resort area. And coming back, it's like 100 and some odd miles. And coming back, he saw me doing my foot, just manipulating, as you normally do. And he said, Ma, he said, maybe you better get me a motorcycle when I'm 16, because it looks like it's too much work, you know. And so I knew he couldn't drive a car. And at that point, he has this thing hanging over his head. It's a big offense, you know, in this state. We were living in New York, in Forest Hills. And we had gone the course. We were going back and forth to court. And one thing we always taught him was, if you're afraid of anything, you just say Siron, Siron. That was like a magic word. And we got the best attorney. It was going for the whole year, and nothing was being done, so we asked permission, could we bring him out of the country? So we brought him here, to Puttaparthi. You see, I'm catapulted back to Puttaparthi. And that was the time that Baba was over the mandate, was it? Over. He wasn't in...
You mean Purnachandra or Mandir?
No, over the Mandir.
Over the Mandir.
That was earlier.
Yes.
And you were able to walk right out into that area. There was nothing above. Just as the doctor said the other evening, it was just the sand. And I got up that morning so early, and I walked under that window, and I talked to him, and I said, you must see him. You must help him. Because there were 2 New York City policemen saying Christopher was seen in that car. And Chris said, no, I can't drive a car even. Well, Baba saw us. We went back home, and we had to go to court. And I didn't know, they said to me, you know, we'll give him a lie detector test, knowing most of the time it's not permissible in court. And he said, you know, we'll handle it, we'll take it from them. He's not had any other offenses. But you still, that's not a good thing. And the day before we're supposed to go to court, I'm frightened because they have not called for this lie detector test. And something told me, I was up, I was reading the Bible, and then I read Baba's books, and I'm talking to Baba, and I'm telling him, don't put my son in jail, don't. And something told me, call a hypnotist. I don't know where I got that. I never would have thought of calling a hypnotist. And there was in the book, in Forest Hills, a hypnotist named Dominic. And this was a holiday, it was a May 30th. It was a May 30th. And he was available and he took us. And he was saying, I said, look, I don't want a Perry Mason kind of ending here, where the kid is telling me no, 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 and then at the end, the fast lawyer says, look, you know you didn't. And, okay, yes, I did it. No, I didn't want that. So I said, I have to know the truth. Well, certain people, and he was one, can be hypnotized. And this man was very good, and he put him under. And I have that tape. I used to call, I used to play it in the class for my students, because sometimes you don't remember things that you actually did. And I said to him over and over, Christopher, did you get in the car? Yes, but I saw wires, and two fellas had told him that there was a car, it's running, when he got off out of the car that we dropped him off at. And he marched back there, sure enough, there was that car with the wires. And so he said, I got in to turn off the car. So I said, but you knew it wasn't your car. Why would you even get in? It was all the way back in a ditch. You couldn't have driven it. He said, well, I can't drive. Well, the man put him under, and he asked him all the pertinent questions. And the voice went into a very deep, I am, you know, what's your name? Did you do it? And it was like he was sleeping and talking. And he said, did you drive the car? No. He said, do you know who drove the car? No. He said, why did you get in the car? I intended to drive the car. See? He didn't drive it, but it was on, because the two fellas had dared him and told him, there's a car. You say you can drive, there's a car. Kids do foolish things, no matter what you tell them. But the man told him, Dominic said, this kid is innocent. I said, but his intentions were not good, you know? And they said, take this to court. We had a very famous attorney. He wanted to make this a case, a big case and so forth, and he did bring it to court. The judge listened. But the thing is that everybody had to get on the witness stand. And Chris said, I was shaking like a leaf, I was shaking. And then I remembered and I said, Sai Ram. And he said something went through him and he sat up like that. And because I couldn't see it because I was a witness, so he was in there by himself, terrified. And he said, Ma, everything just calmed down. And when we were approached by the lawyer after, he said the best witness up there was Christopher. And of course, he was exonerated, everything wiped clean, because that was really, it should have been a major case, because hypnotism has been used to bring back memories of victims, but never of an accused perpetrator. So this should have been one of these class action cases. However, because Dominic didn't have worldwide known credentials, you know, he was able to do what he did, but he wasn't certified on the highest levels. They didn't use the case. But it was just a situation that I tell you that Baba's, the name is so strong, and the belief was so strong that he said, that's it. I give you that little background on Chris because we've never had any other problems out of him. And Shortly after, 2 years later, Chris was murdered. He had just turned 18 years old. And he was getting ready to go to UCLA. And it was a mistaken identity. Somebody came up and shot him. Now the thing is that you question why all the time. And children, of course, you never, ever, ever want to bury. And it never leaves you. However, if Baba was not in my life, I mean, remember I told you I believe soul in he takes over. We're just the puppets. Because I didn't know what to do. They told me, you know, the church that you're looking for to put the funeral in, well, your mother and father went there, you didn't. Because we're Baba devotees, we were going to centers. And I had a friend call from California. You might know him. Anybody know Mike McCarty? Anybody? Michael McCarty? Funny, you know, funny guy. Yeah, Michael. Yeah. Anyway, Michael was a good friend of ours and knew Chris very well, and said, wait a minute, we'll get something. And Baba just took over because Michael contacted Isaac Tigert. And Tigert, at that time, no one had cell phones. So Tigert, of course, had something in his car. He was in Texas. And he called, he told him about Chris. And all of a sudden, I get a call back, do you want to have the funeral at St. John the Divine Church, and that's the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, or Morningside, two largest churches in New York and the largest Gothic cathedral in the world. And we had it at St. John the Divine. Every detail was taken care of. Every detail. And I said to myself, oh my God, Baba was there all the time. He gave me the strength to go through it. I mean, I would have been crushed. I would have been very bitter. But I had been given so many assurances after. And I relate these because I know sometimes people don't take these things seriously. But we have a friend who's a nuclear physicist at the United Nations from Sierra Leone. And she's always very quiet, and she never let anybody know that she had any kind of really psychic abilities, you know. And she then said to our good friend at the UN Center, please tell that family I want to meet with them in a week or so. And when we did meet, now this lady doesn't know any of the words that the teenagers use, okay? And she said, your son has come to me 3 times, and he wants you first to know that he is fine, that he is with Baba, that he is with Michael. We didn't associate the Michael in the Bible, okay? And that he is, later on, we were told, he's in schools of higher learning. And what was it that we were going to have a very special child born in our family? I think we have one. Our grandson, who has been a Baba devotee since he came into the world. What else did I want to say about that? All I want to say is that he takes care of you every step of the way. He has made it us stronger in our faith, in our belief. And so many other things allowed me to know. Just the young fellow that lives actually here in Albany was Christopher's best friend. And the night he passed, he said, I'm trying to reach Chris. He's calling me the next day. He didn't know Chris was killed. And he said, tell her I want to speak. And I finally took the call. And he said, I want to speak to Chris because I had the funniest dream about him. And I didn't even get a chance to tell him. And he said, I dreamt that he was in this beautiful garden with this guy with the orange dress and a big fro. And Chris was so happy. And I said, you know, Chris died last night. he was speechless. But he was there. That was a reassurance. The other thing was that nuclear physicist said that at the funeral, I was standing there was Baba. I mean, this lady has been so on point so many times in different situations. You know she's not making these things up. And she's one of the first Muslims that I knew that came to Baba, because when she went to see him in the early 80s, I think, early 70s, mid-70s she went, she said, we think it's something for men to be marching on the moon, and we have God walking on earth here. She was the first one to say that to me. And I knew that her sincerity was there. So I'm not going to take too much more time with this. I just wanted to let you know that Baba takes care of the story that was related last night by our other speaker. I'm terrible with the name, but you were so good last night. I thought you were talking about my situation, because that was the child I looked for to carry us over. And he was gone, but Baba has let us know that he's fine. He's with him. Now don't worry. Siren. Warren, do you want to say anything?
No? Yes. Okay. I just want to say a few words about the interview in '88. That was my first one there. And again, I went there as a skeptic. I went there hostile, and I came back a devotee. And that's a remarkable change. And as I said, when we went into the interview room, he would do certain things in front of me, although he was looking at someone else. For instance, I was sitting down here, and he put his hand like this in front and did like this, and then he opened it up, and there was a gold chain there. And like I'm sitting there, it was right in front of my face, and I said, oh, where did that come from? And I'm trying to look to see if there was anything under the sleeves, but his sleeves are tight.
And the watch too.
I will. And then he holds it up, and he goes to put it on the guy's head he was giving it to, and he saw it's too small. And then he held it like this as he was looking at the guy, but he was in front of my face, and he pulled it, and it got longer. And it was like, I don't believe what I'm seeing. But it was true. Then he also materialized a watch. It just popped out in his hand. And I'm really astounded. And then he looked at me and he said, oh, watch. What time is it? Now, to show you where my mind was, I had 3 watches on. One had New York time, one had California time, and one had time that was in Singapore, where my mind was. And I'm trying to calculate the time. And then I looked up at him as I'm trying to calculate, and I see on the wall a clock with his picture in it. And so I said, why is he asking me what time it is? But it's, do you know what time it is in your life? Was the real message. And it began to resonate at that point. Unconsciously, but at the same time, very powerfully. And as I said last night, I had gone there after, when I was committed to enjoying my pursuits with the illicit drugs that I was using at the time. I was functioning. But I lost all desire afterwards. It was inexplicable. I didn't understand why I lost the desire. I just didn't have it. I would sit in the company of my friends, and they would have a lot of these things available, and I just did not want them. And all I could do was talk about the trip. After a while, it was a little tough for them to listen. But I talked about it anyway. And I found that I was less inclined to be with that group and more inclined to move ahead in life. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's so important to understand. We look and we say, oh, well, the Buddha was an enlightened one, and it's thousands of years ago, and Jesus Christ, those who are Christians, Jesus Christ was the Son of God. But these are thousands of years ago, and if you say God is living and walking on earth. That there's an embodiment of God on earth. And you say, oh, you're cracked. But there's no other explanation. He took in the midst of one of the poorest areas on the planet, and he created a garden. And he showed that poverty or indifference by others does not stop you achieving, because the Spirit of God is within you. We are all for one. All of us are one with God. And that if we can believe, we can achieve, and we can do. That was the most important thing that came out of that. And so I went from a person who had lost faith in the possibility of good triumphing over evil, and I have come back to the point where I have no doubt that good will triumph over all the evil that we face. All we have to do is believe.
Finally, I'd just like to add some experiences with Baba. I always have thought it's very important for us to remember and always know who he was, as Warren said, that he came down with all of the attributes, sorry, I don't know what's going on with this mic.
Is it good?
I think so. If it could just. It keeps moving, it's shifting. Good. Now I can try to. Okay. Yes. Side up. It doesn't shift again. Should I take off my earring? Would that be better?
Actually, your earring might help it.
It might help it. Okay. Okay. It's always important for us to remember, and for me, all of us, to know that he came down with all of the attributes of the formless, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient God, and with unconditional love to guide us all. And I always, retreats like this, or times when we get together, it is so important for us to share and remember, now especially, that his physical form is not here. And so I'd just like to share some times when he's demonstrated those powers. In one of the interviews, I told about the earrings yesterday. In one of the interviews, I happened to be seated right at his feet. I don't know why this is, okay, maybe I'll just hold it and talk. All right, in one of the interviews, I was Baba, Leela's, seated right at his feet, and he started to wave his hand like this. And I'm right underneath his hand, and my sister is not far from me. Is it okay? Okay. And all of a sudden, I saw what looked like a gold band, I want to say. My sister will call it a line, but it was thick across his hand. And I didn't know what it was going to be. I said, is that maybe the band of a watch? Is that what's coming out? And all of a sudden, what popped out of his hand, and he caught it, was a golden statue of Sathya Sai Baba, which he gifted to someone in the room. He also, I'm sorry, do you think I ought to hold it? Okay, all right. He's giving me a mic. Sorry. Okay, no. One more time? Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay, all right, thank you, Saidam. Is it back on? Okay, all right. Also, after getting the earrings in 1989, as you could see, they were very exquisite, And I felt enormously blessed. But I couldn't wear them many places. I would only wear them, and I still only wear them when I come to speak about Sai or, to Sai functions. I wanted something at that time. I was new to Swami, and I wanted something I felt I could wear that would show that he's there protecting me. And so the next year we came, you're always expecting a miracle to happen to you in Buddha Party, no matter what. When Bob is there and you're seeing all of these things. And I happened to be staying in the shed and went into the bathroom, and there was a ring on the back of the toilet. And I said, wow, if this ring, if I can't find the owner, I'm going to think maybe you gifted this, you made it and put it here for me. Silly me. I went around looking for the owner. I put it on first of all. I said, I'll wear it. I put it over here. It wouldn't go on because this hand is a little bit bigger. We're not symmetrical. And then I put it here, and it went on, albeit very tightly. And I wore it, and I spread the news around. Please, if any lady has lost an earring, please, I have it. Come to me. I have your earring. You want to hold this? Earring. I'm sorry. And finally, after day 3, a lady came forward and said, it's my ring. Thank you so much. Swami gave this. He blessed it. He didn't make it for her, but he blessed it. So it was very important for her. And I handed over the ring. I forgot all about the incident. A couple of days later, we were called in to interview. Okay? We're sitting there, and as Warren said, he blessed us, and we're sitting there massaging his feet, and he says, I'm thinking, can you make something for Christopher, her son, so that he knows that you're with him? And just as I said that, he turned to me and looked at me and said, let's see, what did I give you last time? And I said, earrings, Swami. And then he began to go like this, and a ring appeared. Okay, it was a ring that had his face embossed on it, and he put it first here. He gave it to me. I'm trying to get it on this finger. It wouldn't go on. Does this sound familiar? I take it, and I'm thinking to myself, Swami usually makes rings that fit perfectly for the person. I said, but I got it on here, and even if it turns my finger blue, it's a gift from the Lord. I will keep it. So he's looking at me very, very penetratingly, like he's trying to jog my memory. Because I wasn't even thinking, when you're in the presence of the Lord, sometimes your mind just goes blank. You're just in awe, okay? What he was doing was reenacting when I found the ring. His omniscience, his omnipresence. He was there with me in the restroom alone when I found the ring and tried it here and then put it here, okay? He looks and then he says, it's very tight, take it off. And so I wanted to hold his hand, so I said, Baba, can you take it off? So he gave me that opportunity, thank you, Swami. And so he starts talking and he struggles and he's taking it off very, very gently because, again, the second time, I was pulling it first. And then I said, can you take it off? And he said, be gentle. Okay, and I was crushing the earrings. That was the last interview. I was holding it tightly. Be gentle, but that means be gentle also in your life towards other people. I realize he's telling me that, and so I strive to do that. But he finally gets it off, and he says, take it in the other room and I'll change it for you, because he starts talking about Christ. And I said, well, Swami, I believe in you both. And at that time, I was new. I didn't realize, in my mind, they were two separate beings. They're one. Now I know. God is one. Okay? We go into the other room. He sits down. And remember I said I didn't want the earrings, the marriage thing. He would always ask me about husband. Where's your husband? And also in that interview, he was playing around and said about my husband, asked me about a husband. And I'm sitting there going, but Swami, just like when you gave me the wedding earrings and you said, She wants marriage very soon. I will give, I will give. I just want you, a spiritual marriage to God, whatever you want to call it, and then merge into you after this life. And so I kind of sat there not saying anything, and so one of the ladies who was with us that we invited into the interview says, I'll take a husband. And so who else says it? Who else said, give me one too. I want a husband as well. And so Swami then says to her, but you had two, and one is a friend now. Omniscience again, her two husbands. My brother Warren asks about my oldest brother, who is the only one of us who is, you want to come? You can add, please. I don't want to hog anything. Yes, asked about our eldest brother, Jimmy, who's a very good person. But he's not a Baba devotee, but in his heart, he acts as if he is. He's giving, he's always doing service. But he had one vice that always haunted him throughout his life. He loved the races, horse racing, okay? And my brother says, Baba cuts him off. He never gets to say anything about him. And he says, yes, I know. Always at the races, always gambling. So much money goes. He said, don't worry, I will help, I will bless. Well, he did help and bless him, because 1992, when we lost our dear Christopher, not too many months after that, my brother was shot. He was a school teacher all his life, 40 years, math teacher. And he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was shot. And he went to the hospital, and the doctor told him, there's a miracle here. God is working with you, because that bullet missed every major organ, and they were able to get it out, and he's fine today. So Baba not only knew about his horse racing, which he has also made him come. Yes, put on your mic.
I'm sorry.
No, you go right ahead.
He does not go. He does not go to the side.
It's not, okay, I didn't want to, but also he did take care of him, and he did not allow our brother to be taken from us. When we get out, now we'll go back to the interview. Baba says, take it in the other room, I'll change it for you. And I'm sitting there, and he says, you know, give me the ring. And then he holds the ring between his two fingers. He blows on it, and it changes to this ring. It was the same ring before. Remember I told you he was trying to jog my memory? It was a reenactment of the ring that I found in the bathroom, and it was the same type of ring that I had found in the bathroom. The one with the enamel and Baba's face on it. But this time, he changed it to this ring with the Sarvadharma symbol here and the cross on it here. And then he went through a little, he threw it to someone who is like our brother, Krishna Kumar, and his daughter is part of this region now, okay, Ramani, and she's in dental school, and we knew her since she was like 3 years old. But he gives it to Krishna Kumar, and he thinks he's to keep it. I don't know why. Baba went through this whole thing, and he says, no, give it back. And so he comes and he brings it back. And then Swami puts it on this finger, and then he said, now you take it, and you put it on this finger. And I took it off, I put it on this finger, and then our good friend Malini said, first Baba said, there is your band. And I said, hey, there is your band. And so she said, band, husband. That means now you're, it's like a spiritual marriage to Baba. There's your husband. Okay, which was beautiful to me, because he kept fooling around with me, asking, where's your husband, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, Baba, please. Okay, but that was, again, his will, omnipotence. I told a story the other day about on the internet, which someone said, oh, April, I never heard that before. And I said, because I normally tell stories, people like to hear stories about when you're right there with Swami. And, but this one, just to show you he's with us wherever we are, wherever we are. We were in Long Beach, California living, and we were living in an apartment complex that had backyards that were next to each other. They were very small, and you had a sliding glass door. And I'm sleeping in the room at night with the sliding glass door. All of a sudden, my sister comes bursting in the room, and she says, there's a man who broke into someone's apartment, and he's on the loose. He's still out there. And I'm sleepy, and we had just come to Baba, and I was just enamored and in love with Baba, and I just said, oh, well, Baba will take care of it. And I turn over to go back to sleep. But as I am about to close my eyes in the closet, I see Baba standing, and he's looking very sternly, not at me, but across the room. And at the doors, at the sliding glass doors. I then spin around and look, and I see the man in the backyard. But he's not trying to get into the door. He's trying to get over the fence and go. But Baba was there, and I saw him. And I said to myself, I know you're with me at any time, at all times. He's omnipresent, omniscient. And we have to just remember that, because there are times when our faith is tested. Often, we're faced with challenges. We're faced with people who may not know Baba, and they have not seen the Lord. They may not have been blessed to have been called. We were all chosen to know He's here. And so we always have to remember this, and it's good that we get together and discuss and sing and just remember that He was God walking on earth. And we are very blessed. I don't know how much time we have. You want to do a couple?
We want to do some bhajans with you guys, if you don't mind. Okay.
Oh, can I say one more?
What?
Just one more.
What?
We have time.
Okay.
Okay.
You reminded me, I never finished this at the YA retreat, and I'm only saying this experience because it showed me Baba's omnipotence. During the time when he said to me, I will call you tomorrow, I want to see you separately for the earrings. I was feeling so at home and familiar with Baba because we're there, he was allowing us to massage his feet. And so I then put my hand on his knee right here on his leg. And I said, tomorrow, Baba, right? Because I had always heard about his tomorrows. They could be, lifetimes from now, So I said, tomorrow, Baba. And he looked at me as if, how dare you? I let you massage my feet, but don't you touch them. And I said, oh! I pulled my hand back and I said, oh God, I'll never touch him above here again. I'll never do that. And I was so afraid. Next interview. Get into the interview, and one of the main things I'm thinking about is, yes, I want to massage his feet again, all right? And when we do get inside the inner room, he allows that. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, I can massage his feet, but I'm not going to touch him anywhere else. And all of a sudden, I see an arm reaching up like this. And then I noticed it was my arm. And I had not moved my arm. And it came down on his knee. And he looked at me and he smiled and he laughed. We don't even have control of our own bodies. So I just wanted to express that because that was him teaching me. I am God. Okay? Sairam, I don't want to become a preacher. We'll share some songs.
Okay. The first one is a bhajan that we wrote we're requested to write some budgets for Region 2. 3? 2, okay. And this one is a thank you to Baba. Because, let me just say this to you, all of you were alive when he was alive. Most, maybe babies weren't. And he taught you himself. You know, lots of times, even after, I had a lot of friends that said, you know, I'm going to this little, I'm going. But God came here. He has enough information for us to study 10 lifetimes. I'm not going anywhere. And basically, all I want to do is thank him. So this is the bhajan. Baba, I want to thank you. Simple, it's in English. It'll be slow, but it'll speed up. So get on your horses. Okay. Do we have that? Because we have the music for it.
Go find it.
Ah.
Thank you.
Sorry. I didn't do it. Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. Can you sing that? Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. And non-violence is the perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity. And non-violence is the perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity. So Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. And non-violence is a perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity.
And non-violence is a perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity.
One up now. So Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. That love and righteousness begets non-violence for you and me. And non-violence is a perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity. And nonviolence is a perfect weapon to fight for truth, peace, and unity. So, Baba, we want to thank you for all you've done for us. We are the generation you taught with your sweet love. Oh, very sad. Thank you. Thank you, Baba.
Next one, I'm going to call a friend of ours up here who sang with us in New York City. Miss Roxana, would you please come up and assist us?
Yes,
I
go
was
ahead,
going to say,
please.
by the way, there are other members of your region who sang with us years ago when we first came. Miss Bitsy Noel, I don't know if she's still here. Is she still here at the retreat? No. And also a young lady who has grown up to be a fine young lady and an attorney who is going to bring Psi values into the legal system, and that is Miss Anna Gorovich.
Okay.
She and her sister sang with us.
Yes, and her mother.
Yes, and her mom.
Yes,
That's right.
okay.
We're going to do Sathya Sai Baba.
Okay.
Satya, okay?
And it's really
Yes.
great.
All right.
All right. You're
Sorry.
their gain, but it's our terrible loss, believe
Thank
me.
you.
She was a beautiful singer.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go on to Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba,
Prema
Prema
Baba.
Baba, Hare Hare. Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare. Glory.
Glory.
I changed the words.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory. Shirdi
Baba, Satya Baba,
praise your name.
Prema Baba, we praise your name.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name.
Let's pick it up. Shirdi Baba,
Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare.
come on.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory.
Shirdi Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory.
Shirdi Baba,
Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name.
One more time, come on.
Shirdi Baba,
Everybody sing.
Sathya Baba,
Come on.
Prema Baba, Hare Hare. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare.
Come on.
Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name. I think you go one more time. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name. Shirdi Baba, one more time. Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, Hare Hare. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, glory, glory. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name. Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba, Prema Baba, we praise your name.
And we just sing the first line again.
Shirdi Baba, Sathya Baba,
Prema Baba, Hare Hare. Salam. Salam. I heard those voices. Yes. Sister. Okay. And I think we have one more. I think my brother likes to lead this one. It's a little gospel-y, but you have a lot of fun in your sentence with this one because whatever you're working on, you want victory to be yours. So everything that he's going to say is going to be the total opposite when victory is his. So are you ready? And we'll just follow him. Okay. And you wait for the... Okay. Wait a minute. Wait.
Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told ego to get thee behind, 'cause victory today is mine.
Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told ego to get thee behind, 'cause Victory today is mine.
Peace is mine. Peace is mine. Peace today is mine. I told violence to get thee behind, 'cause peace today is mine.
It speeds up too.
Peace is mine. Peace is mine. Peace today is mine. I told violence to get thee behind, 'cause peace today is mine.
Love is mine. Love is mine. Love today is mine. I told hatred to get thee behind, 'cause love today is mine.
We know that love is mine. Love is mine. Love today is mine. I told hatred to get thee behind, because love today is mine.
Truth is mine. Truth is mine. Truth today is mine. I told deception to get thee behind, 'cause truth today is mine.
We know that truth is mine. Truth is mine. Truth today is mine. I told deception to get thee behind, because truth today is mine.
Sai Baba is mine. Sathya Sai Baba is mine. Baba today is mine. I told ego to get thee behind. Sai Baba today is mine.
Sai Baba is mine. Sai Baba is mine. Sai Baba today is mine. I told ego to get thee behind. Sai Baba today is mine. Faster.
Jesus is mine. Jesus is mine. This is a Christian song. Jesus today is mine.
Ego again.
I told ego to get thee behind, 'cause Jesus today is mine.
We know that
Jesus is mine.
Jesus is mine. Jesus today is mine. told ego to get thee behind, because Jesus today is mine. Love is mine. Love is mine. Love today is mine. I told hatred to get thee behind, 'cause love today is mine. Come on now, love is mine. Yes, it is. Love is mine. Yes, it is. Love today is mine. I told hatred to get thee behind, because love today is mine. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine.
And it's the ego.
I told ego to get thee behind, because victory today is mine.
What's our time?
How is our time going? Oh, we're finished.
We're good?
Wonderful. And not wonderful that we're finished. We just didn't want to go over anybody's time, but we just really, really sincerely want to thank you
Yes.
for inviting us.
And we've enjoyed all
everyone.